got that cleared up.
Hello and welcome back to the Check Complete podcast. Glad to have you. We are excited to get going on this. We talked in our pilot episode. What are you laughing at?
I'm so excited.
I am so excited.
I could karate chop the air right now.
If you must. In this episode, we're going to be talking about experience. Experience, does it help you? Is it necessary? How do you get it? All this kind of things. So what's your take on it, on experience?
On experience?
Yeah. Do you need to have it?
I think you have to have it.
You have to have it, right?
It's
and how much
good.
of it do you need?
You need
The more, the better? Or
a ton.
A ton? Okay, a ton.
I'll edit myself slightly there, but you need a ton of experience.
Okay. Well, you don't need a ton of experience to referee, but if you're wanting to improve as a referee and get better experience, most certainly helps.
Absolutely.
Having seen things happen on the field, how to react to them. Once it happens to you, you're going to be much better prepared for it, right? And there's always weird things happening on the soccer field, right? Everybody knows that. So, it's monumental. I think it's very important, and it shows in how you referee. It gives you a little bit of a confidence, and that shows the players and the coaches, and they're going to be reacting different to you if they feel like that you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And some of the best experiences or things I've experienced that helped me in my game, I've learned from other referees. They didn't necessarily happen in my games. And it may not even be that I learned it during a game. It may be the locker room talk, right? The before a game or after, when the referees say, "Hey man, guess what happened to me in my last game?" Like, well, do tell me more.
Tell me more. War stories. That's what that's called.
Right? That's what they are, right? And you hear, this player, did this, or this coach said that, and you're like,
oh, I've had.
And what did you do?
I've had that coach a million times.
Yeah,
he acts like that every game.
Well, but having heard from somebody else it happened in the games, now it's part of your experience too. Because if I hear something happen in your game and you tell me about it, I'll be much better prepared for it if something crazy happens in my game, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's it's the locker room talk. It's talking to the referees. Can build your pool of experience, right? And just you have to work games, right, to get experience. The more the better. The more the better. Probably
more the better.
Yes. But I think personally that you can always just work games and not get much out of them. And that's probably not what you're wanting to do. I think
you got to be eager to learn from those games.
Right.
I mean, if you go do 1,000 games and you don't learn anything from those games,
you've done 1,000 games.
You've done 1,000 games.
That's all you've done, right? What I've done in my refereeing career is keep a spreadsheet. Obviously, we keep a spreadsheet to keep track of my games.
Yeah.
So I know, hey, did I get paid for this game? For tax purposes, I always have, down how far I'm driving to get to these games, and write that off in my taxes, right?
That's part of the experience that you don't really know about when you first get started.
And really nobody tells you about that.
Nobody tells you about it.
Well, I have a spreadsheet of my pretty much my whole career refereeing of the date, who the teams were, what level of league it was, the position I was on the game.
That's a big spreadsheet.
Well, it's a Google spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be that big.
Started in 1965.
I'm not that old, but thank you. So I keep track of everything basically, and on the spreadsheet, I just basically made a column for strange stuff happening. Maybe I red carded a player. I usually put that down. If a coach is adamant about something, they always want something called. Always one high school coach, she always wanted handballs. Handball. Everything was a handball. And when I first did one of their games, I was kind of like, really? Handball every time,
Everything's a handball.
But you better believe next time I had that team, I knew,
You
it, was
knew
coming.
it was coming.
I was prepared for it,
You
right?
knew it
So
was coming.
I had experience with this team. I put it down on a spreadsheet. I looked at it before I refereed them next time, and it helped me be prepared for what was about to come, right? Those kind of things is what I'll put down. When I started working high school games in Missouri, I live in Kansas, and I was doing games there. But then I moved to do games in Missouri as well. I didn't know any of the coaches, so I took notes on the coaches.
Yeah.
And next time I would see them, I would have just a leg up on them basically, and would be better prepared. So that kind of thing.
I'm starting to embark on that journey as of last fall.
Okay. Yeah, you started high school. Right?
I didn't do high school
Mm-hmm.
in my first, the initial span of my referee career. 2014 is when I got certified, and I basically did youth and, some men's leagues and stuff during those years.
I
always had a real job that I'd worked too late to do high school. So
Yeah, I don't want to put a number out there, but that puts you in your mid 30s when you started refereeing.
Yeah, I was not a young lad when I got certified, but now I'm doing high school, so I think you do kind of see those same teams and same coaches more,
Right.
so you kind of remember little things like that with the coaches.
Yeah. Well, my first experience refereeing was when I was in fifth grade, and I had just switched schools, and the new school, we had moved, but the school really wasn't that far away from the old school, so really I could have gone to the old school, to be honest. But I did go to the new school, and I arranged a scrimmage between basically both schools, my classes in both schools, and I was the referee for it. And it was very interesting. I had no idea what I was doing. You asked me what whistle I had, and I don't even know. Yeah, I just got certified. I certified myself, right? And I know the one thing I did that I found so interesting afterwards, and I didn't realize I was doing it. Every time the ball went out of bounds, I stopped my watch. Stopped the clock.
Added time.
Well,
for a ball out of
that's
play.
the one thing I always thought, the ball goes out of bounds and they go get that ball. It takes so long for it takes away from the playing time, right? So I was like, that's not going to happen in my game. And
now you wouldn't dare stop the clock.
I think 5 hours later we were done playing. Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but it was a pretty long game for sure.
Fantastic.
So that was my first experience refereeing. I didn't really get started until I was in my 30s. So, yeah, same boat as you. Late bloomers, so to speak, right?
Late bloomers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't grow up playing soccer.
Yeah.
I was a baseball guy, and I never really knew much about soccer.
Mm-hmm.
But shortly before 2014, I was in a relationship, and this individual's daughters played. And so I started kind of learning more about the game because we watched Sporting KC. And,
So you were like a soccer dad.
well, I don't know about all that.
Okay.
But so I started to pick up things here and there, kind of watching their games, watching more MLS games, things like that. And then at some point, the oldest, who was, I believe, 14 at the time, had mentioned she wanted to referee.
Huh.
And so I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Well, I figured out how to get her signed up. She had committed to sign up yet. And I also decided I would take the class with her. So she didn't have to do it by herself.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept an eye on the clinic, and it kept filling up. And at some point I was like, hey, you need to get signed up. And at this point she tells me, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm already signed up. In my mind, I've already gone through this class. I'm ready to referee, right? So I go do the class, and kind of what started out as an idea of doing a game here and there on the weekend for a little extra cash was, pretty steady 2014 to about 2020, every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday. And, then you meet individuals like you and our friends out here watching us.
Yeah.
And here I am. After a little short break, I'm back and
you were
having a blast.
In our local college chapter as well. So you did.
I was for games. 2 seasons.
Two seasons, yeah.
18 and 19.
Okay.
Yep, those were. I did those 2 college seasons. So
nice. Yeah. Well, we did a few games together there.
We drove really far one night. Where was that? And then we did the fitness test the next day.
Well, it was at Missouri Valley, which is about 90 minutes away.
I had the girls' whistle.
Yes, I was AR for both.
We went into overtime, and then we had lightning.
We didn't get out of there till it was like midnight, wasn't it?
It was dumb. We got home at like 2:30.
It was. I think by the time I got home,
something like that.
I think by the time I got home it was well after 3:00 because it was storming so bad that we couldn't go very fast.
We didn't finish the women's game, but then we were cleared to do the men's game, and the men's game went into overtime as well.
Yeah, that was a mess.
And then we ran.
Did we run the fitness test? That's the first fitness test I ever failed the next morning.
You injured yourself, didn't you?
No, I just couldn't go. I was so tired. I was so worn out.
Yeah.
That
was a rough go.
That was pretty bad. Yeah. So I grew up playing all my life in Germany. If you're not playing soccer, then there's probably something wrong with you. I think everybody plays. All the time. And, that was me too, of course. And I was always, even as a teenager, as an adult, I was the player on the field that had really good advice for the referee. To say it mildly or maybe beat around the bush, I was the worst player on the field. Always had something to say, always in the referee's ear. I was very frustrated about the refereeing. And I got to the point where I finally just said, you know what? I've been complaining about this for so long. It's making me miserable. I'm going to do something about it.
Not just you.
No, I'm sure. I mean, there's people out there that I have apologized to. And and I said, hey, I'm going to do something about it, right? Not just complain. And that's how I became a referee. And I was basically just working men's leagues and high school for the first 8 or 9 years, probably, I'd say.
Okay.
And then 2016 is when I started working youth games as well. So 17 is when we both went to regionals.
Yeah. That was my first trip to
That was my
regionals.
first trip in South Dakota.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Yep.
So I had no idea what to expect.
No idea. But here's the thing. And we are talking about experience, right?
Absolutely.
What does that do for your experience when you go to a tournament where
most of the people have been there a minute,
have done higher level games, have more experience than you do? It was a wake up call, right? I mean, you see people from other states that, I'm not saying they're all really good referees. There's always, I don't call them bad apples. That's not. But there's
some of those too.
Stronger and weaker referees, obviously, from every state. And some states, let's be honest, they're sparsely populated. The Dakotas, they don't have a whole lot of soccer to referee, so it's hard to probably get experienced referees that are really good from up there. But yeah, just being around referees that, for the most part, were better than you were, had more experience, that confidence, right? That little extra that maybe you didn't have yet. So going there and being on those games certainly helped me and gave me a lot of experience.
Absolutely. You learn a lot in a short amount of games.
Absolutely.
With that type of experience.
So I had there was one instance I wanted to talk about that really elevated my outlook on refereeing and made me realize that there's a lot more that I could be doing. I went on it was a college weekend trip to Quincy in Illinois. And I went with John Freeman and Ryan Cook. And John back then was a national referee, and Ryan was as well. Ryan was a national AR at the time on the USSF side. And so we went to Quincy for like a day and a half. Maybe it was two. It was one night in the hotel. So like, get there early and then, and we all of us did. We had one whistle. Just being around those guys, for that day and a half, man, I was walking away a lot smarter than I was before. I learned a ton. And that's, just talking in the car, before the game, doing the game, but that as far as like experience, really made a big impact on me. So do you have any?
I'd say, kind of back to the regional, that first regional trip in 2017.
Yeah.
When you're 3 years green and you've just been doing Heartland games for 3 years, when you kind of step into that, it can be overwhelming, but if you're eager to learn from it, you can take a ton of knowledge from that. And I think that's kind of when I started thinking that I could take this a little more seriously and not just do the games on the weekend for fun. I think that kind of lit a fire under my butt because I'm not too terrible at this.
Yeah.
So, let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah. I agree. So as promised, we have some experts that we have recruited.
We brought experts in.
Yes, not here in the studio with us, but they were gracious enough to help us out and send us some videos. So we have Jeff Swartzel, MLS assistant referee that had been on the podcast numerous times before.
Excellent resource.
Great guy. Met him at regionals once or twice, and he's from Indiana. And I know he was in 2022 maybe. We were in Westfield, Indiana for regionals. He was out there. Great guy. Always wants to help, younger referees and is absolutely a resource that we're happy to have. So we're going to check out his take on experience. Be right back.
See you in a minute.
Hi friends, I'm Jeff Swartzel, MLS assistant referee. And today I get to talk to you about experience, why it's important, and how to get it. The first thing I can tell you is there is no substitute for experience. We all know that as you try to upgrade from grassroots to regional to national to professional, most of those requirements do have some kind of game count on them. And the reason for that is that it takes a certain number of games to see enough weird stuff to be prepared for the next level. We know that we go to some games and they go just fine. Nothing crazy happens, nothing confusing happens, and we get through those. But it takes a certain number of times before those weird situations will crop up that forces us to learn how to deal with them and do it better next time. The only thing you can do is to go out and work games. And we learn something from every game that we do. Youth games gives us an opportunity to try new techniques and positions without the demands and the speed that an adult game might take. It also gives us a more safe and comfortable place to learn the laws of the game as new officials. As we develop, high school games give us an opportunity to learn how to deal with the passion and emotion that comes from wearing your school's name on your chest. In college, we start to deal with coaches and administrators who feed their families on the games that they coach. And when we get to the professional game, finally, we have thousands of fans that get to come and spend their money and watch the product that's put on the field. Experience can't be shortcut. We need opportunities to go out and learn the game and our craft. So the best thing you can do is to go work games. But when you can't, go watch games. Watch games on TV. Watch games that your friends do. Look at clips, attend webinars, read referee forums. Anything you can do to get more exposure to different game situations and different tactics and things that other referees try. Some will fit for you and some won't. But the more you experience, the better you'll become. And hopefully, these tips will help you get that experience that you need to move to the next level. Thank you.
All right. Well, great stuff from Jeff, huh?
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I can't agree more with him that there is absolutely no substitute for experience. You know, you can't. It's really something you just cannot shortcut.
No.
And if you talk about those like we talked about before, weird situations happens to somebody and you hear about it, it's like, oh wow, that happened to you. Well, you know what? That may happen to my game, but I'll be prepared for it if it does. So
it kind of puts a little file in your brain, at least for me. And then
absolutely,
kind of as it happens in your game, you're like, you recall that little story and
there we go.
Know how to handle it.
Yep. And so can shortcut it. And there's lots of things you can do. I mean, obviously war games. I think an important way to get experience and keep it fresh in your mind is I like to keep spreadsheets with certain things on it. We're asking higher level referees, regional referees, to self-reflect and talk about after the game, and take down some notes on what went well, what didn't go so well, what could I have done better, those kind of things, and just have a notepad, a notebook that just for yourself. You don't have to show it to anybody, you have to share it with anybody, but something you can go back on, and maybe there's a pattern, right? It's like something keeps not going well in your game. You might be able to figure out what the problem is.
What's your recommendation for when to self-reflect? Do you do it immediately after the game, or do you let yourself cool down and kind of get in a different headspace? What's your thought on that?
It kind of depends on what it is and what state of mind I am in. If I'm if my heart's pumping at 180 beats a minute still, and I'm sitting in my car, I probably just want to get home, right?
Yeah.
But I have in the past started writing some things down already while I'm just sitting there. Maybe the car's warming up, and if it's really cold outside, or something, write maybe just a few points down, and then later on when you calm down a little bit, or then that's probably the better time to put some notes down.
I would agree with that.
It's also a good time to just forget about it, and then if time passes, and then you're like, I'm not going to do it this time. So it's a habit that you have to kind of start for yourself.
I think for me, I need some time to maybe eat something and get myself back to a normal frequency in my brain, so I can think straight.
A lot of times when I'm refereeing, I'm driving half an hour back home, so there's plenty of time to think about things. And I think it would do you well if you have a written down notepad, something to write things down that you can kind of go back later on and look. It would certainly be beneficial for sure. But just refereeing is probably not enough though, right? If you're really wanting to improve and wanting to get better, I mean,
you have to take a look at your games and really reflect, and if you want to get better,
right? And there's things like webinars. There's referee meetings you can go to. And I'm sure certain states have more of those than others. I know here in Kansas we're very blessed with a lot of resources. That there's monthly referee meetings. There's always seems to be some kind of a webinar coming from the college side for sure that I'm taking part of. US Soccer has at least quarterly webinars to check out on certain subjects. So take advantage of those kind of things. If there's nothing in your state or in your area where you are, contact your leadership and find out what how they can help you, become better referees. I think just by doing that, I think that's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure.
So we also have Drew Klemp, our freshly minted FIFA futsal referee and national referee on the USSF side, with his take on experience, and we're going to go show you right now. See you in a bit.
Hello, Check Complete podcasters. We're here today to talk about experience. Do you need it? The answer is yes, you do. How to get it? So, some things that you can do to kind of broaden your scope of experience is put yourself out there, advocate for yourself, reach out to assigners, reach out to friends who know assigners, be willing to travel, go to different areas, work different leagues, work for different people, with different people to get different perspectives on how they officiate, on how they interpret different situations. So, how does experience help your refereeing? Other than, a little bullet point on your, referee resume, it also puts you in situations that you can't really imagine and forces you to deal with them, so that when they happen to you on a bigger stage or in front of more people or in front of more of your colleagues, like, you'll know what to do because you've had to do it before. And if you put yourself through enough repetitions, then you should run into a good amount of things that could possibly happen, and you'll know that in your knowledge arsenal of what to do in all these crazy situations. So, yes, experience is really, really important, and trying not to kind of rush the, climbing the ladder process, whatever that looks like for you. Go and referee that crazy Sunday league with all the different ethnicities that have like external things they need to get out of their system on the soccer field. Go and work that amateur league. Go and work that semi-pro league with a bunch of like people who are not going to make it pro, who wish they made it pro and are, disgruntled about that. Go and work that NAIA or junior college game that's like always a really difficult matchup. Work men's soccer, work women's soccer, work youth boys, youth girls. But then also, give yourself a little bit of that kind of pretty curated soccer as well. That MLS Next, that ECNL, that whatever the platform league may be. But give yourself a nice big swath of experience to choose from between the more, pretty soccer to the more, Sunday league kind of experience, so that you have all of those tools in your toolbox.
All right. Well, good stuff from Drew there.
Thank you, Drew.
Yeah. Thanks for helping us out with that. So yeah, I mean, if you're able to work for different assigners, work different leagues, give yourself different platform where you're, learning and work with different people. I think that's certainly something that can help you out, getting more experience. If you're even able to travel, lucky like us, we get selected to go to regionals. Yeah. And if that's something that, you're wanting to do, you're unfortunately out of luck because regionals are no more.
It's
a different format now. But there's ways to still be in that circuit of the national championship series and go to nationals, those kind of things. It's just through the National League, other venues.
It is nice to get out of your local leagues, and
yes,
you get
challenge.
I mean, over the course of a season, you see the same.
Yeah,
I mean, two
same
of
teams.
your three
right
on your crew are the same a lot of times.
Right. Same teams week after week.
Same
maybe.
teams, same coaches.
So yeah, challenge yourself. Go out and I like this. If you're interested in upgrading from grassroots to regional referee, the adult game is a must. There's no way around it. Yeah. You have to work the adult game. and it's certainly a different animal than youth soccer. Drew kind of spoke a little bit about the ethnicities, the different issues that come working with adults. And maybe you're a teenage referee and you're refereeing people in their 30s or 40s, right?
Drew definitely put himself through men's leagues and those, as a younger guy.
Oh yeah, he's a national referee now, but his climb from grassroots to where he's at now is incredibly fast. But he worked all the hard games that you can get.
Yeah.
He made the contacts. He traveled to tournaments.
He's worked it for sure.
So it's not handed to him. He's certainly earned every bit of it, and we're glad that he's able now to be our industry expert and give us some advice and
absolutely
help out the less experienced referees. So, and the one thing that he had mentioned, if you're interested in upgrading, if that's something that you're wanting to do, there's no need to rush it. I think that's probably true. If you're rushing things, you won't be prepared for that next level. But hey,
yeah,
interested in upgrading, you should talk to your leadership. Talk to assigners, talk to whoever is in your state.
Don't rush it, but also don't wait for it to come to you.
Yeah,
you got to be assertive and
exactly. If there's something that you like to do, don't wait for people to come and approach you. Hey, do you want to upgrade? There's something you have to take into your own hands.
Yeah.
Right. And show the people in charge that
you're serious.
You're serious and you're ready. So
you're serious. That's a good step for sure.
All right. Very good. How do you feel about this episode so far? You think we touched on everything, or do we need to?
I think it was a good start.
Yeah.
I think we covered quite a bit.
Okay. Very good. So. Check complete super fans, or if that's not your thing, please subscribe. Hit those buttons down there. Whatever you have to do to help us out, we greatly appreciate it. Let your refereeing friends know that there's something, a resource maybe to watch they might be interested in. We appreciate you. Sure. Thanks for coming back, and check complete.
Check complete.